This floor plan is clearly trying to create some separation between the master bedroom and the secondary bedrooms. However, in doing that, the trade-off is that you're sacrificing the openness of the common areas, and that's where the house needs it more. This is a quick rundown on how the house works. In the middle, you have the living, kitchen, dining. Here you have a visual of how the space would look like. On the left, you have the 2 bedrooms and a common bathroom with a linen closet. And on the right wing, you have the master bedroom with its ensuite. You have a laundry room, you have the garage, and you have a storage unit. The first thing that jumped at me is how little the wall is facing the backyard, and the kitchen is already taking half of that space, so you don't have a good connection with the rear porch. So I think all the common areas facing the backyard and having that more open feel, it's going to allow the room to breathe and just to feel that much bigger with more windows and more connection to the outdoors. Right now, this kind of feels like a tunnel. This is kind of tunnel-like because you have 2 big walls on either side and just openings on both ends. So this is not an ideal situation to be clustering all the common areas around. The second thing that jumped at me is how far the kitchen is from the garage. It's always ideal to have it close to it, so that way when you have groceries, you can easily put them in the kitchen, or having a pantry that connects through a garage. That's always something that's very fun. And there's definitely opportunities here. There's a lot of rooms here that could serve for a pantry if you put the kitchen in this corner over here. So let's start by removing the master bedroom that's occupying such valuable back facade real estate, opening up to the backyard. And then what we can do from here is just push the kitchen all the way to the end. I always like kitchens to be tucked in as much as possible because that's where people gather around the most, and that's where I feel like it should be the most intimate part and not as exposed as soon as you walk into the home. And also because kitchens can also be messy, you don't want to see that as soon as you enter. And now I'll remove the original kitchen and move the living room to be connected with the kitchen and dining area. And hopefully you can kind of start sensing why this layout works so much better, because now the dominant wall is not just solid wall, it can be converted into glass with windows, allowing more natural light to pour into the space. And stick around to see how I place the windows later in the video. So just south of the kitchen, you see there's an opportunity to make a pantry, and I would actually combine the laundry room with the pantry to make both spaces feel larger than they are, and to facilitate circulation by removing as many walls as possible. Here's how it would look like if it were connected. I think it's far better. Again, I like to always put the door to the pantry flush with the cabinetry and actually cladding that door with the pantry cabinetry, so that way it looks seamless with the kitchen, making the kitchen feel larger because you're not breaking the continuity of the cabinetry with a random door. And also it makes it kind of hidden. It's always fun, it's always a nice surprise, and there really is no downsides. It's just a little bit more expensive to do, but I think it's always really worth it. Now the problem with this space is that it's way too narrow to include circulation and storage simultaneously, so I'm going to have to push the garage by 2 feet lower, and since the garage is 21 feet in width, it's going to add to the overall house 42 square foot of interior space. However, my goal is to always keep things as tidy as possible. I can always shave a little bit on this corner in this bedroom, and that is 11 square foot. So in total, I would be adding to the house only 31 square feet, which is very little. It's basically the size of a small closet. And I think for the benefit of circulation, I'm not really substantially increasing the house, but I'm substantially improving the circulation, and I think it's a fair trade-off. Now, from the entry from the garage into the house, we can put a vestibule area with a closet with a bench to greet you in before you enter the house. Basically a mudroom. And on the right wall of the mudroom, I would put a pocket door so you can access easily the laundry room and pantry, so that way you don't have to circle around all the way at the end of the kitchen to be able to access those areas. Instead, this will allow far better circulation. Now for the entry of the house, since we have a long hallway, I opted to do a 5-foot hallway, which I think it's a very nice feature and appropriate since it's the entry, and it actually kind of feels bigger than that because you have the mudroom adjacent to it. And here you can see how much free space we have to work with for the sleeping quarters. So let's erase everything there. So the first thing we need to have as accessible as possible to the common areas is the bathroom. So that's why it's the first thing you have here. I opted for the bathroom door to be in this tucked in hallway instead of in the main hallway, because this is the only bathroom servicing these 2 bedrooms and also the common areas. So I was thinking to myself, imagine I'm getting out of the shower and I'm shirtless. I don't want to be seen by the whole house. So it's just that level of extra privacy. Yet since it's at the beginning of that private hallway, it still feels accessible for guests to come over to go into that space. Now what's really neat is that we haven't really sacrificed the square footage of the master bedroom. In fact, this is pretty much the same proportions, just moved to the other corner of the house. Now here is what it would look like with its walk-in closet, and on the other side with its ensuite. The original master bedroom did not have a bathtub, and this one also doesn't have one. And in this one, I tried to squeeze one in, but it just wouldn't fit. And I would much rather have a proper water closet than squeezing in a half-size bathtub. That just wouldn't look good. And plus, a water closet, I think for daily usage, it's something you're going to use every day, and it's something that in the long run is just far more useful than having a bathtub. So I think this distribution works really well. Also, while I'm at it and talking about the distribution of the master bedroom, the reason why I didn't capitalize here on this little wall, it's because having corner cabinetry, whether it's for the kitchen or for the closet, it always is so hard to access that corner and to make it efficient. It's always better to have linear storage when you have these narrow spaces, and this wall is perfect to just put a mirror here. Now for the front porch, I don't like it because it's just not giving enough privacy to the bedrooms nor to the bathroom because it's kind of close to it. So I would just do a little cover area just right where the entry door is. That's it for the front. And for the back, I would move obviously that back porch where the common areas are. As for the windows, I think all bedrooms can benefit from large windows, and also the bathrooms need ventilation, so that as well. I will also go as far as to put an extra window in the water closet in the master bedroom and in the shower. So 3 windows, so each area of the bathroom gets ventilation because they're all kind of enclosed. So I don't want to have a dead spot. I would put a window aligned perfectly with the entry hallway at the end. I feel like that is such a nice detail and it welcomes you into the house. For the dining and kitchen area, I would take advantage as much as possible to have some sort of retractable door, accordion door or sliding doors or patio doors to let as much of that natural light inside of the space. And it also connects perfectly with this rear porch. And since I removed so much from that front porch, I think we can use that to give it back to the back porch so you have a larger space to go out. And I think you can never have a deck or a porch that's too large. I feel like it's really nice. I was considering the lighting because, you know, like since it's a covered area, there's going to be less light traveling into the space. But since we have such large openings around the kitchen and dining, plus we have a big window right where the living area is, I'm not too concerned about the lighting situation in this space. Of course, I would need to know how this house would be oriented, but I think there's a lot of openings. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I would add extensive landscaping right where the bathroom and 2 bedrooms are to provide more privacy from the outside to those spaces. And lastly, I would add a linen closet to this inner hallway because we always need some type of storage unit that's accessible for everyone. And with that, I think we have my design finalized. With only 31 square footage in addition, I think this is a very solid layout. We have all the common areas at the back of the property opening up to the porch. And also, if you think about it earlier with the original design, as soon as you enter, you arrive immediately at the living room, and that transition was extremely blunt. I just really wanted more wall space in the common areas opening up to the backyard. The living room now is more tucked away from the entry. There's a little transition. Like in the other design, as soon as you enter, the transition was not there. It felt extremely exposed, not cozy whatsoever. Here we have a preview of how the house could look like. Although it's not perfect and it has many flaws, it is a pretty close depiction of how the house could look like. I hope you enjoyed this video and saw the logic behind each of my decisions. And if you're into design critique with solutions, consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.